All right, I'm going to read to you about Mexico's cool caves. Okay, we're not going to read this whole passage, it's very long. We're going to work on one paragraph today, okay? And your job is to really make a movie in your head while I'm reading it to you. You're not reading it yourself, so you are just working with what you hear and trying to visualize it. The skill that we're working on here is really visualization to help you understand and remember what you hear or read, okay? So I'm going to read the second paragraph. I'm not going to read the first one because it's very, very long. I want to work with the second one. It's about the Cave of the Swallows, okay? The Cave of the Swallows is another equally amazing cave. It's a pit cave, which means it's a vertical shaft that drops 1,220 feet into the ground, or 1,904 feet from its highest edge. Its impressive size makes it one of the largest known cave shafts in the world and the second deepest pit in Mexico. Its unusual name comes from the parakeets and white-collared swifts that live along its walls. And those birds aren't the only cool thing about the cave. There are many more. Okay, so think back. What do you remember? What's the movie in your head about the Cave of the Swallows?
It's like a pit. It's very like deep and it like has a shaft and there are like birds and other things living in it.
Yes. Let's go back and look at this sentence. It's a pit cave, which means it's a vertical shaft that drops 1,220 feet into the ground, or 1,904 feet from its highest edge. So when you think of a vertical shaft, do you know what a shaft is?
It's like an elevator shaft. It's like
Right, it's like long and straight, right? So it's not gonna go on curvy twists. It's like an elevator, right? Like you could put an elevator in there. Vertical means up and down, right? And so it's just like a straight drop. Good. Let's listen to the next sentence. Its impressive size makes it one of the largest known cave shafts in the world and the second deepest pit in Mexico. Okay, so what's notable about this cave?
it's like so deep. It's like the second deepest in Mexico.
Yeah, so it's really huge, right? Its unusual name comes from the parakeets and white-collared swifts that live along its walls. A swift is another kind of bird. So, can you picture that?
Kind of.
Have you ever seen like a power line? You ever see all the birds like lined up?
Yeah.
Yeah, they all gather together. So it's not like on a power line, but it's going to be that same kind of image of just tons of birds like attracted to each other and they're all gathering together, right? I'm going to read a little more to you, okay? The Cave of the Swallows has its own cool features. Perhaps the coolest are the green parakeets and white-collared swifts that live along its walls. Oddly enough, actual swallows are rarely found there, so the story behind the cave's name is kind of a mystery. Each day, groups of birds fly in circles up the cave shaft and out of the cave mouth into the jungle. The temperatures are pretty low in the cave, so vegetation is plentiful at its opening. Due to all the growth and the animals living along its walls, there is a thick layer of debris and guano, also known as poo, covering the cave floor. Okay, so can you go back and tell me what you imagine in your head as I was reading that?
Like the birds and like the jungle and like the mouth opening up to like the cave.
Anything else?
Like kind of confused on like the name and everything, because like the birds don't actually live there.
Yeah. Right, so are you confused or it's confusing?
It's confusing to people, like why it's called that.
Right, because what kind of birds are actually there?
Green, like parakeets,
Mhm.
and then like a swift or
Yeah, it's a swift. This is like a white collared swift. So I'm imagining a bird that has just white feathers around its neck, but not around the rest of it. Okay. And then I'm going to read this last sentence to you because this is an image that you'll probably never forget. Due to all the growth and the animals living along its walls, there is a thick layer of debris and guano, also known as poo, covering the cave floor. So what do you picture at the bottom of the cave?
just like layers of like stuff on the bottom. Like it's hard to like step if you went down there and stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind of gross.
would you want to step in it?
No.
No, it sounds like kind of nasty, right? Like it's a lot of poo. And debris is just junk from plants, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm imagining just like tree branches or greens or seeds that birds drop and like all kind of degrading, decomposing at the bottom there. Good.